Hey guys, Miss Goldenberg here. So by now you have completed the first Edpuzzle video where Miss Rose walked you through some skills and best practices in taking good notes. And now you're going to apply those good skills in the second Edpuzzle video where you're going to practice taking notes and learning about points and finding slope. Remember, these Mondays are going to be a quick chance for me to review a concept with you as you get ready to apply that concept in the week's lessons. So we're just checking back to see how you're feeling on slope and plotting points, as this is something you have seen before, but you might need a quick refresher.
In this video, we're going to review two concepts from coordinate geometry: how to graph points and how to find the slope of a line. Whenever you have a point, it's going to have two numbers associated with a first number, which is your x number, and the second number, which is your y number. The first number tells you how to travel right, left, and the second number tells you how to travel up and down. So let's go ahead and see if we can find the point 2, 4, or plot the point 2, 4 on an axis. We always start counting from this part here, which is called the origin. So from here, since our first number was a 2, we're going to go to the right 2. We're just going to pause there. We're not going to make a dot or anything. We're just going to rest for a moment and look at our second number, which is a positive 4. So we're going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this would be our final location. That's the point 2, 4. So again, this means go right 2, up 4, and then make a mark. If we were to have a negative number, for example, what if we were asked to graph the point negative 2, 3? That means start here. Negative means go left. So instead of going this way, we go left 2, and then up 3. Some people wonder, what happens if I see a 0? So for example, where would the number, or where would the point negative 4, 0 be? Well, the first number tells you to travel left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the second number means don't go any places up or down, just stay where you are. So if I go left 4, and then stay where I am, this would be the point negative 4, 0. And that's a quick review on plotting points. The second thing I'd like to review in this video is how to find the slope of a line. The slope of a line is a number that tells how steep a line is. The higher the number, the steeper the line. In the definition of slope, there's many that are used, but the one that I think is easiest to remember is you're going to count how far the line goes up and how far the line goes over. In algebra classes or geometry classes, you may have heard this expressed, rise over run. How far the line rises, how far it runs. But basically, how far it goes up and how far it goes over. So let's take a look at a couple of examples. So in this first example, I have a line. And notice that I have 2 points highlighted on the line. For example, the problem might read something like, find the slope of the line that goes through this point, which is 0, 3, and this point, which is 3, 5. There is a formula for doing this, but really I think the easiest way to do it is simply to make a sketch, make a graph, and then between these 2 points, let's count how far we go up and how far we go over, as if we were making a step. So to get from here to here, we are going to go up 2, over 3, up 2, over 3. So we would say that this line has a slope of 2/3. Let's do another example. Let's find the slope of this line. Again, I have 2 points highlighted here, and it's how far the line goes up and over. In terms of this step, we would go up 1 space, and then over 1, 2, 3 spaces. Now, you'll notice that there's a difference between the first example and the second example. This line here is an uphill line. Think about always reading a graph from left to right, just like you read a book, just like you read a sentence, and it's going uphill. When a line is going uphill, the slope is positive. If we were to contrast it with this line here, and again, always go from left to right, think about riding a roller coaster, here you'd be on the downhill. To contrast an uphill line from a downhill line, we say that the slope is negative. So the slope up and over, up 1 over 3, but because it's a downhill line, we say that the slope is negative 1/3. And so that's a quick recap on plotting points and graphing, on plotting points and finding slope. So here's a couple for you to try. See if you can find the slope of this line. Notice that I have 2 points highlighted here. See if you can find the slope of this line. Notice I have several for you to pick from. Okay. And also, just to practice your graphing, see if you can also graph points 2, 5, and -1, -2 on either of these grids. Alright, hopefully you paused and had time to try those 2 problems. So let's take a look at this first one. Remember slope, up and over. So from here to here, if I go up and then over, I would go up 2, I would go over 4. So the slope of that line is 2/4. Now, you might say to yourself, should I reduce it? Well, the placement test is multiple choice, so if 2/4 is not one of the answers listed, but they do list an answer of 1/2, you should pick it. Alright, so those 2 numbers are equivalent. On the second example, you may have wondered, well, which point should I pick? Should I pick these 2? Should I pick these 2? It won't matter. Your answer will come out the same no matter what 2 points you pick. So let's just pick these 2. Up and over. So I notice that I go up 2, I go over 1. But I remember that it's a downhill line, so it's a negative slope. For example, if this was graphing, say, a stock you were following, or your checking account balance, and it was going like this, it's going down. It's negative, so a negative slope. So the slope would be -2/1, or just like here where we reduced, here you could simplify. You could write -2 as well. You would come up with the same answer if you use these 2 points, or even these 2 points, because what you would get here would be -4/2, and when you reduce it, you would still get -2. Now let's just make sure that your graphing is fine. So if I were to graph graph 2, 5, I would start here. I would go right 2, up 5. Right 2, up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this would be the point, 2, 5. If I were to graph this point, it would say go left 1, down 2. So starting here, left 1, down 2. This would be the point, -1, -2. And that's a recap of plotting points and finding the slope of a line.
Okay, so as you can see, I did not create this content myself. It is from this source, so giving that source due credit. And that's it for today. I'll see you guys in the next couple days.